Hey, welcome back to the second episode of Left 4 Dead Garage. We're not going to be working on the Ford in this one, but today we'll be working on my 86 C10. Just going to pretty much show you how to do a budget lower. I'm going to use stock C30 front coils from this dually. Then in the back we're just going to do a drop shackle, but you have to notch the bed support to clear the shackle. And if I feel like it, then we're going to remove the overload leaf. This truck's just a 4.3 liter, so it's not going to really doing too much towing, if any. Just give you a little walk around here. It's not a bad truck. Here, I give 600 bucks for it, maybe 7. Pretty solid. It is kind of an odd truck because it's 4.3 4-barrel, but it has a turbo 400 transmission. Manual brakes truck, but it has air conditioning and power steering, which makes no sense as far as options go. The truck is super solid other than the cab corners, and it looks like the back window, it's a sliding back window, so it looks like the back window leaked and it just ran down to the cab corners. Other than that, the floor is super solid, rockers, the bed, got a few dents, dings here or there, but 700 bucks, you really can't go wrong. I put the bench seat in there. Had this truck, I bought this truck a year ago, and I actually gave it away to a friend of mine because he was looking for a project, and I figured this might be the perfect thing. The shop truck look, the easy to build, super simple. But life came into play, and like I was saying, I gave it away and he just didn't have time for it, so I went back and picked it up. So we're just going to keep it, I guess, lower it the easy way, not exactly the right way, but it's just parts we have, and that's kind of the whole idea of this. Just a budget build. Probably wet sand it, buff it, maybe even have a guy letter the doors. Left 4 Dead Garage. But tomorrow we'll dive into this and I'll show you how it's done. We're going to cut a couple coils off and we'll see how she looks. I get this tie rod loose, knock it loose but not take it off. I'm gonna pull this caliper out of the way, take this bolt loose, that way you get a little more slack. And then we'll take the upper ball joint loose. I hope I don't have to use a pickle fork because it usually tears up the boot. Hopefully I can just hit it hard with the hammer and get it loose. And then we'll put the floor jack under this lower A-arm. Pull that shock loose too. Then we'll put that jack under the A-arm and slowly let it down. Hopefully the spring don't fly out. We'll probably have to work with it a little bit to get it out, but just hang tight. Let's see if we can get this tore apart, and we'll go from there. All right, we're going to take the plasma cutter and cut these because, one, I don't know if the Sawzall will do it. Two, I don't really feel like using the death wheel, so we'll try the Sawzall. Also, I've never done this. I've never chopped down 1-ton springs and put it in a half-ton truck, so we're going to see how this works together. Just to be honest there. So, got my safety glasses already on, factory ones. Let's see what happens here. So actually, let's turn it. I guess it helps if I turn it on. I don't want to edit that.
I'm gonna be blind.
This ain't bad.
Oh, okay. I never even.
Alright, ready?
Yep. sparklers.
Ground's always a good thing. I can't say enough good about this PowerMax Hypertherm 45. I bought this about 8 years ago, and it's not used every day, but I feel like it should last me a lifetime. This one's also CNC plasma table compatible, but I never got around to buying that, and I don't really have room for that, but I can't say enough good about these Hypermax units. Make sure the pigtail that you cut is in the control arm relief right there. If you look around, you'll see the low spot where that coil will have to sit. And make sure you ring the bucket in the top. You'll know it's in there correctly if the spring is just standing there vertical. If it's just leaning one way or another, you're not in the spring pocket. Make sure your caliper's on the right side of the before you put it back together. Those brake lines severely need changed, but we'll save those for another day. You know, safety third. Heads are a little shot too, but no more than this truck will see drive time. It'll be fine. Just a shim, you don't need it. Make sure that pin goes through the ear of that pad. We'll slam this blown out shock back on. I believe the bolt has about had it. End of it's kind of galled up. It'll be all right. Don't forget your cotter pins. Don't forget to tighten up our ball joint with the wrench. And we'll move to the other side, but we'll come back and do cotter pins and then grease everything. And we'll see how it goes. Like I was saying, see how the spring's vertical is in the seat in the back, and the pigtail is in the pocket in the top. This brake line potentially looks worse than any other. We'll have to work on that. This control arm is way more stiff than the other. Everything around here used to go up. Everything got lift kits and big tires and 1-ton axles. I don't know what part of my life everything started to go down, but it is much cheaper. Line any worse than it is. Pretty bad. Yeah, it looks good. Put that on too. Now we're going to roughly mark this. I'm going to need a little room for the width of the shackle, so we'll mark it here and here.
Then I'll move out the width of this 1 inch, which is what the square is. If I can get it in here. We'll just wing it. I ain't gonna be able to get it in there. We'll just say right here. And my Sharpie's quitting on the job. New Sharpie. Alright, we're just gonna roughly mark it where we can clear the shackle, the bolt, everything. We'll say right there. Cut it right there on both sides, and we'll see if we can get some clearance. Just gonna mark this side like the other side. Just eyeball it. It's not super critical. Ain't like this garbage is going to SEMA, but then again, SEMA has garbage. Something like that, just so you got bolt clearance, shackle, whatever's in the way. I don't know what's going to be in the way. Cut it out of there. Safety squint, engage. Ready?
Yep. Safety squint. Yes.
Alright, these fit very snug, so we'll just use this Nightmare in a can because 1 tablespoon, I swear, will coat the whole neighborhood. But I use it on everything. And I hate rust. I hate stuck bolts. So I anti-seize. I think I abuse my anti-seize privileges. But we'll just schmooge it on here overly good. And see if we can force these shackles. I wonder which way they go. Any ideas? That one's bent. Nice.
Real bent.
We'll just grease fitting out. That looks like a good idea. That's ultimately snug. We might need to persuade that a little. Let me get the I really don't know. Alright, we're gonna see if we can get this bolt back in. And then get the hanger, the shackle situated on the spring eye. Still may not be enough to get a bolt in there. We're gonna do this backwards. Guess I could have just did that. Those in. Stick the nuts on. I think these are a 2-inch shackle. Like I said, I found them in the behind the seat of the truck. So.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna snug all this stuff back up. Then I guess we'll be ready to set it on the ground, get the tires on it. I think I will check the brakes before I do all that and reseal this diff cover because it is leaking. But we'll get all this buzzed up. We'll get back with you when we get ready to set it on the ground. All right, we're gonna snug all this stuff back up. Then I guess we'll be ready to set it on the ground, get the tires on it. I think I will check the brakes before I do all that and reseal this diff cover because it is leaking. But we'll get all this buzzed up. we'll get back with you when we get ready to set it on the ground.
Ready whenever you are.
All right, we're gonna pull this cover off. It's been leaking for a while, and who knows. Kind of like to know what gear ratio it is anyway, just to know. None of them's tight. That's good. Probably why it's leaking. Probably could just tighten them up. Ain't bad, I guess. As long as no giblets come floating out without important pieces like gear teeth, bearings, leftover socket. This thing actually has a 12 bolt, which is another weird thing. Turbo 400, 12 bolt with a factory 4.3. Well, that's interesting. At some point, the pinion has came back into the carrier. I'm guessing, hoping it's been rebuilt. Who knows? Put it in neutral and roll it around. But yeah, pinion bearings went bad at some point. Although I can see up in there and the pinion doesn't look bad, so maybe it wasn't this gear set, but at some point it's definitely had some problems. It ain't got a bunch of backlash, but we'll reseal it. All right, we're gonna paint these wheels, but we don't want to get paint on the tires, so let's make us a template here. Then you just take this, put it right under there. Trim that one up a little more. That way you can paint them. You don't get paint on the tires. Still kind of might get it on there a little bit, but at least you won't have a ton of overspray on the tire. But you can always take brake cleaner and get it back off the tire. like a champ. Well, I'm glad we didn't cut 2 rounds off the spring. We went a round and a half because I ended up having to trim the bump stops. It set a little lower in the front than I wanted, or maybe it didn't set as low in the back as I'd like. I didn't remove the overload leaf, so they didn't bring it down another 1/2 inch. But other than that, it's okay. But I mean, seriously, I got absolutely no money in lowering this, and it doesn't ride bad. It actually rides better than it did before. I mean, it obviously needs shocks, and the other springs were probably just worn out. But other than that, I mean, we changed the oil, serviced the rear end. Hopefully, I mean, it's not making any noise. It's obviously had damage before, but I'm not worried about it right now. I'd like to remove that rear bumper. I have another one identical to that, or I may go to just an eBay roll pan. But as you can see, it doesn't take much to have a fun truck, a fun C10, because these trucks, I don't know where the prices have gone or why they've gone, where they've been, or where they are, whatever. But somewhere along the line, these things have just gone out of sight. Short bed, regular cab trucks, I mean, $10,000 and they have rust. And all these people are doing is just fluffing, buffing, lowering them, putting wheels on them, and saying it's a $10,000 truck. You don't have to have a $10,000 C10 to have fun. I mean, you can finish cleaning this up, do the interior, go to a car show, cruise in, whatever. I mean, if it makes you happy, that's what matters. And this truck, actually, it makes me happy just like it is. I don't care to change the 4.3 to put in anything else. It is what it is, and it's fine. It's solid. And I'm pretty sure after buying 2 new tires today and everything I've done, I might have $800 in the truck. So there's deals out there. You just have to look for them. So we'll follow up with some other things on this truck later on. But until then, this is what we have. So if you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. You'll get notifications when we post videos. I'm going to try to do at least one a week. We've got plenty of projects to do. So.